All right, we're here. Let's rock and roll. So, okay, Jim, why isn't this 2008 all over again? So stick with me, and I'm going to give you two reasons why 2020 is not 2008 all over again. But before I do, some of us are aware, I don't know who's not aware actually, of the tornado that touched down in Toms River yesterday. So what I'd like to do, I made this offer on Sunday through a live open house, and I'm going to make this offer again. So before I go into the story with the two reasons why this is not 2008 all over again, I'm going to ask if you're hungry. Anybody who was affected by the tornado, I know you lost power, there was a lot of damage to houses, our neighbors, anybody in the Twin Oaks, Melody Park, Bay Avenue area that was affected by the tornado yesterday that hasn't had lunch today or even breakfast yet, give Cindy a call over at Fast Break. Give Cindy a call, 732-573-1100. Again, Fast Break, ask for Cindy, 732-573-1100. And lunch is on me. I give her $100 tab. So anybody who's hungry, and doesn't want to listen to why this isn't 2008 all over again, give Cindy a call. Lunch is on me. Okay, back to the two reasons why this isn't 2008 all over again. Not so quick story. Surprise, I was around in 2008. As a matter of fact, I was right here in this building where I am standing today in 2008. And I'll tell you, I remember November and December of 2008 like it was yesterday, okay? It was post-election. We had just elected Barack Obama president of the United States of America. For the previous 2 years, 2006 and 2007, I had witnessed day after day, year after year, the real estate market slowing down as inventory increased and prices decreased. Inventory increased and prices decreased for 2 years. Not 2 months, 2 years. Not 2 months, 2 years. Okay? So it came as no big shock and surprise that in November and December of 2008, the whole economy collapsed, okay? I know some were surprised because, hell, Facebook just came out in 2008, okay? So social media was brand spanking new in 2008. So everybody wasn't an economic expert or an infectious disease expert. There were very few social media experts in 2008. So I was here, okay? So the difference, number one reason, right? The first reason, why is 2020 different than 2008? Let's take a look. Number one, okay? Month's inventory of homes for sale. In 2008, nationally, across the nation, in 2008, we had 11 months of inventory, right? See this line right here? This represents 6 months of homes for sale. That's what we refer to as a balanced market. Okay, prices don't go up, prices don't go down. They remain flat. That's why we have this flat black line. So in 2008, we were in a buyer's market. As you can see in the graphs I was telling you, inventory was climbing for 2 years, right? So nationally, 11 months worth of inventory. Locally, here in New Jersey in 2008, we had about 18 months. Actually, that was more like 2010 because it actually got worse after 2008. Inventory actually climbed and prices decreased even more. So 2010 was really our bottom, right? But here we are in 2020. So for the last decade, right, 12 years, right, let's make 2010 the bottom. So for the last decade, we have been selling off inventory. So inventory has steadily been declining for 10 years. 10 years. So here we are in 2020, and even with the government and the government or state governments shutting down for the last 6 weeks, okay? Even with the government shutting down for the last 6 weeks, we have not seen an increase in inventory. As a matter of fact, our national inventory stands at 50% less than it was this time last year. 50% less than it was this time last year. We've seen a 25% decrease in new listings. Of course we have. Our governments have shut down. We have rampant unemployment created by the pandemic. Again, the unemployment was created by the pandemic, not by the economy. We went just over 6 weeks, almost 2 months ago, from the lowest unemployment in the history of the nation to almost 22 million people unemployed in 6 weeks. Okay? That is a gut punch, unprecedented gut punch, not created by the economy. It was created by the health crisis, by the pandemic. Two completely different animals we're talking about here. So that's the first reason why this is not 2008 all over again. Let's go to reason number 2. Equity. All right, so we've talked about inventory, and now we're talking about equity. Right? Almost 54%. Almost 54% of homeowners today have 50% equity in their homes. Okay? Over half of the home owning population has over 50% equity in their home today in 2020. Back in 2008, for those of us who were around and licensed and not just working but surviving and succeeding throughout that great recession, right? Remember, the reason 2008 crashed is because the housing bubble burst. Everybody was using their house as a credit card, right? They were over leveraged. That's why everybody walked away. There was no equity in their home. Zero, right? Actually, there was less than zero. There was negative equity in their home. That's why everybody just walked away from their home 10, 12 years ago. There was no equity. Today, over half the population has over 50% equity in their home. We're not walking away from that. Nobody's going to walk away from 50. Well, not nobody. Of course, there's always going to be somebody stupid enough to walk away from it. And unfortunately, there's going to be cases coming up where people are going to be forced to walk away from it because the banks don't care about you being unemployed. There is no such thing as mortgage relief, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going back to that story. But here, reason number 2, equity. Over 50% of the population has at least 50% equity in their home. Look at that, almost 40%, 37% of our population owns their home free and clear. Almost 30%, 26.7% of the population with a mortgage has at least 50% equity in their home, right? These are strong indicators, and these are the 2 reasons, right? The 2 reasons that we are not going to see another 2008, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I'm going to qualify that briefly. I'm not saying that this is all going to be unicorns and rainbows, all right? Obviously not going to be unicorns and rainbows here. If you watched my video last week where I talked about when the economy is going to recover, I called it, right? As I was talking, so was Governor Murphy. And I called it. I said, listen, we're a blue state, okay? Murphy's not going to do anything without Cuomo's blessing, all right? Governor Murphy, Governor Cuomo, the governors of Massachusetts, Delaware, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, have gotten together and formed their own little committee to figure out when they can start to open up their states' economies. Right? I said the first states that are going to open up are going to be red states. And I named it. I said Florida and Texas. Texas and Florida. Well, who's open? Texas and Florida. Now, I'm not saying this is a good decision or a bad decision. I am not taking sides or claims on that. I'm just calling it as I see it because I see it. Right? I read, I explore, I don't take sides. I just call it as I see it. Right? So the red states are going to get back to business first. Okay? The blue states are going to take longer to get back to business. We are a blue state. So it is going to take us a little longer to get back. So this V recovery, right? Let's go. Right? Yeah, V. The V recovery that everybody's predicting could become a U recovery in the blue states. Right? It'll be a little more gradual. I'm going to put a graphic in the comments below when this video is over, showing you the three different types. There are three different types of recoveries. The V, which has the sharpest decline into the trough, which is what most of the economists are saying we are in right now, is what's called a V recovery, right? We have a steep decline into a recession. And yes, we are in a recession. When you have 22 to 25 million people go unemployed in 6 weeks, you're in a recession, right? So we are in a recession, but they're calling for a quick recovery, a V recovery. Now that recovery can be prolonged and turned into a U, and the wild card here that's going to determine that is how long are these 22 million people going to be unemployed. The longer they stay unemployed, the more opportunity there is for that V to turn into a U. Now, the third type of recovery is what's called an L recovery, right? So you have the decline and then the long recovery, right? Sharp decline and then the long recovery. And that's what we saw and witnessed and experienced back in 2008 in the Great Recession, and the time prior to that, the Great Depression. Those were L recoveries. Those recoveries took years, okay? Years. It took us 2 years to get out of the Great Recession, right? Officially. It took us 8 years to get out of the Great Depression. So the longer that we keep people unemployed, the better chance that our V turns into a U, and nobody's seeing an L right now. So let's take L off the table. I just wanted to explain the three types of recoveries. So to sum it all up, wrap it all up, and let me know if I'm making any sense. I don't see any questions here. Quick question, right? All right. Okay, that's actually a text message, not a question on this video. Sorry about that. So any questions on the two reasons why this is not 2008? Okay. Kathy, any questions? Wendy, any questions? Gail, I don't have the Wednesday hair treatment on this live video, but thank you for noticing on my almost live or on my my Facebook story. I have to do something to keep this thing under control. All right. No questions? Okay. So the two reasons, again, to sum it up, move on, okay? Inventory and equity, okay? Inventory and equity, those are the two reasons. I got to get used to this reverse camera to where I'm standing. So inventory, there we go, so you can read the words. Inventory and equity are the two reasons this is not 2008 all over again. Again, look for a V recovery if we can get America back to work sooner rather than later. Look for it to turn into a U recovery if our blue states can't come up with a plan or implement that plan sooner rather than later. And don't worry about an L recovery. The economic indicators just don't say it exists at this time. So I hope these videos are making some sense out of the chaos and fear and uncertainty and doubt that we're all experiencing at this time. Again, I just like, since we're just about done here, to make that offer. Fast Break is open until 2 o'clock today. Okay, Cindy at Fast Break is available to take your phone call. So if you were affected by the tornado that touched down in Toms River and you haven't had any power and all your groceries spoiled overnight, give Cindy a call at Fast Break while my tab lasts and have lunch on me. All right, lunch on me, Cindy at Fast Break, 732-573-1100. Again, 732-573-1100. Ask for Cindy, say I want lunch on Jim while my tab lasts. Okay, it's a $100 limit today. All right, so give her a call, take advantage of that. I hope everybody's safe and healthy, and I look forward to seeing you next week on We're Here. Okay, We're Here for episode number 4. All right, I don't know what I'm going to talk about next week yet, but thanks for tuning in, and I'll let you know ahead of time, and the rest of the day to yourselves.